Radio News.
How did you sleep last night? I can guarantee you I slept better than you did, unless you've got a MyPillow. You know, I get the best sleep of my life. I work better, I sleep better, I interact with people better, and I have been healthy. The healthiest I've been in years. And it's all because I get a good night's sleep with my MyPillow. Now, it's not the cheapest thing you're ever going to find, but guess what? Good health is worth everything. Try a MyPillow. If you don't like it, you can send it back in 60 days. And you've got a 10-year warranty. It's made in the USA. And Mike Lindell guarantees you're going to love your MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener special, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Get a great deal on a MyPillow by using my promo code, and I guarantee you'll get a good night's sleep or you get your money back.
White House spokesman Hogan Gidley is dismissing claims of censorship by former National Security Advisor John Bolton. The pushback comes a day after Bolton accused the White House of trying to censor his forthcoming book about his time in the administration. A latecomer to the Democratic field of White House candidates has surged in recent polls. Here's USA Radio Network's Chris Barnes.
After days of attacks by other Democratic candidates who've accused him of trying to buy the presidential nomination, Michael Bloomberg's huge ad spending seems to be working. A national poll from PBS and Marist College shows him in second place. Bernie Sanders with 31%, Bloomberg with 19%, Joe Biden third at 15%. At a Monday night rally, Sanders said of Bloomberg,
"You are certainly not going to win when you have a record in New York City that included racist policies like stop and frisk."
Bloomberg's now qualified for Wednesday night's debate in Las Vegas.
You're listening to USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
President Trump is on his way to Los Angeles where he'll take part in a briefing regarding the 2028 Olympics. Before boarding Air Force One, the president did talk about Democratic Senator from Connecticut Chris Murphy and other Democratic senators meeting with Iranian top officials.
I saw that there's a Senator Murphy met with the Iranians. Is that a fact? I just saw that on the way over. Is there anything that I should know? Because that sounds like to me a violation of the Logan Act. Yeah, what happened with that? Did you read about hear about Senator Murphy met with the Iranians? Well, they ought to find out about it. If it's true, I don't know. It just came out as I was leaving the car.
The president was also asked about some of the leakers at the White House.
One other thing, is there a search underway for Anonymous? Remember Anonymous?
Yeah, there is. It's not so much a search. I know who it is. Can't tell you that.
Why not? Why not?
But I know who it is. But we won't get into it. People know it's a fraud. I know who it is, and I know who some of the leakers are. But some of the leakers don't exist. It's made up by the press. So they say 9 people have said, or 2 people have said, and those people don't exist. When I want to get something out to the press, I tell certain people, and it's amazing. It gets out there. But so far, I'm leaving it that way.
And for USA Radio News, I'm Tim Berg.
The following is an America Matters media production. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the station or its advertisers, although we think they should. But that's the opinion of America Matters Media.
Welcome to this week's episode of Rush Hour. Today's episode of this week of Rush Hour, since it's the first show I've done in a week. My name is Kelly Rush, and I am your host. And we are a production of America Matters Media, the home of quality conversation. You can check us out on the web at americamatters.us. That's americamatters.us. And we're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Reno Rush Hour. That's also my Twitter handle. at Reno Rush Hour. And you can check that out as well. And we are an interactive program. Call toll free from anywhere on the planet, 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Or you can just drop us a line in the Facebook Watch Party comments box, and I will interact with you that way. And my guest today is my dear friend, Dee Gregory. Hello. Also the host of Mustang Matters with Maureen Dane every Monday from 1 to 2 p.m. And that's an awesome show as well.
It is. It's
getting awesomer every
picking
week.
Up steam. Picking up steam.
Like horsepower.
Yep.
And we had some fireworks this past week. And we're going to have some more cool announcements next week. So you got to tune in Monday 1 to 2 right here on these very airwaves and video waves and streaming waves. We're all over the place. And let me get this thing started here. Tune in and call in. That's all I got to say. Or message. Us.
Yes, we would love to hear from them.
Yeah, we really would. I wish people would interact more, because that's fun. That's what this is all about. That's why we do this.
Maybe they could just give you a topic. Tell you what they want to hear, say
always.
Tomorrow, and then you bring people in for that, and then keep leapfrogging each day. They know what's going to be coming up, or they could literally come up with a topic right now, and we could wing it. We'll at least talk about what we know. What we don't know, we'll just flat make up.
Yep. That would be fun.
If we don't know the answer, we'll just make one up.
Oh, no, I don't do that. I can research it real quick. But, and then, we have Christian Meyer with us. He is back, and we missed him.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back. How are you doing?
Good. I'm a little tired.
Of course.
Spent all day driving, and then Goliath over here decided at 3 o'clock in the morning that he wanted to get sick.
Oh, wow. Poor baby.
So,
that's not cool.
Yeah, he's hanging in there, though.
Yeah, he seems rather subdued.
Yeah.
Poor thing. So.
Maybe he's got that coronavirus.
Oh, God, no.
It's spreading fast, though.
The doggy coronavirus?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
That is, it's spreading huge. All over the place.
Nah,
it's not causing as many deaths as some might have thought, but it's still more than it should have. So, who knows? There seems to be a bit of controversy as to whether the country of China reported as quick as they could have to stop some of the stuff they stopped.
Well,
but some people are going through it too.
China created it.
Well, some people are going through a 14-day quarantine, get released, and then come over back to their own home country and go through another 14-day. I seen an interview today with a lady who hasn't seen her husband in almost a month. So they were both together on the same place or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Then he tested positive for it, and then he started getting sick, but now he's on the mend, and so they're hoping. And they actually own a radio station down in Southern California. But they've been doing stuff remotely, with their staff and all that stuff. But, yeah, they've been in quarantine for a while. So,
yeah.
What else out there? What else in the news? Should we tell folks we seen Pete the other day, went to a local rally?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, it's not that often that time allows or permits, but kind of at the last minute on Sunday, we found out that candidate Pete Buttigieg was doing a rally over at Sparks High School, and I believe that was at about the same time that Bernie Sanders was doing his in Carson City, and I think somebody else was around. But anyway, we were able to make it in as media into the Buttigieg one, and it was interesting. Got to listen to him, got to see him, got to kind of feel the crowd, because they were pretty fired up when he came there. He was a little late. They said 6 to 8, and he didn't even walk out of the curtain until about 7:15, I think, or 7:20. But it was different. I would love very much to be able to go to every single rally for both sides. Anybody and everybody who's running for office, I would love to be able to do that. Not always able to, but it's always best, I think, if you get there in person and see them. You can see things that, you see it all as it happens, as opposed to an edited down version that, the media or somebody, takes snippets here and there and plays it. But when you listen to everything that's being said, oftentimes they're saying something totally different than what you think they're saying when you hear the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was real nice. I thank you for offering that to me and inviting me to it. So that was...
Oh, sure.
Because I didn't even know he was going to be there until you mentioned it. And then we literally slid in about 10 minutes before he arrived.
Yeah, no, that was, it was interesting. It was interesting. It reminded me a lot. I caucused for Ted Cruz, and it reminded me a lot of that, the energy and just kind of the feel of the whole thing. Even the music was very similar. And
yeah, they're getting the crowd going. They had opening speaker, the mayor of West Sacramento, came out and did that. Then he did a town hall, and that after he spoke for about 10, 12 minutes, then he opened it up to questions that people had already put into the fishbowl, and they were pulling that stuff out. But we're able to come in under the media, so we actually had a good view and good audio to the whole thing. But it was nice, very nice.
Yeah, it was fun. It was interesting.
I'm not saying I'm going to vote for him. I'm just saying it was nice to see them live.
Yeah, it was. He was very compelling, very on point. It was very interesting to see the difference between his true convictions and what you could tell the party line was. That was interesting. But we've got to go to our first break. We will be back for the second segment of today's Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Dee Gregory after these messages. Stay tuned.
1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Years 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the Grads of Life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second segment of today's Rush Hour. I'm Kelly Rush, and I am with Dee Gregory today. He is host of Mustang Matters, and brain pause there for a minute. That was weird.
That's all right.
On Mondays from 1 to 2 p.m. And also a Nevada Hall of Fame, Broadcast Hall of Fame inductee. And lots of other great things around town here. And so what has been going on? What other stuff has been going on?
Not much. Prior to the break, we were talking a bit of politics in that we had seen Pete Buttigieg.
Mm-hmm.
Buttigieg or Jidge?
Jedge. Boot, edge, edge.
Oh, like that's easy. Sure.
Edge.
Buttigieg. Okay. All right. I'll mess it up in a minute. Anyway, the one thing I know, he used the same story that I've been hearing for a long time. Everybody talks about that 13-year-old girl who asked them while on the campaign trail for the bulletproof backpack because of the dangers in there. I mean, I don't know. I realize I'm being sarcastic when I say this, but I recall Hillary Clinton saying that 13-year-old girl, asked for a bulletproof backpack. Mitt Romney was saying that. I heard Obama said that. So I can't help but believe that this girl, if she has not been shot yet, she's got to be in college or a college graduate, because that 13-year-old girl has been, or she keeps flunking because she's been asking for a bulletproof backpack for 8 to 12 years now that I'm aware of.
It would have to be longer than that if it was Romney.
You're right, 16 years. It's I don't know. I think they could come up with some new stuff. I don't doubt for a moment, that there are some very important and from the heart questions that are asked them by people of all ages.
Oh, sure.
But some of them you just got to question. You just really got to wonder how real that is. But you mentioned that you could tell, as could I, when Buttigieg was
Mayor Pete.
Okay, was saying something that he truly felt and wanted to say, or was saying something that perhaps he felt he needed to say. You could tell when there was conviction, there was true belief. You could tell the difference. It seemed like it just rolled off his tongue a little bit easier, like he really meant it, as opposed to having to focus and concentrate on what he was saying. And, many of them are the same way. We know that a lot of the candidates, especially during this time of year, say things to try to get more votes. They may partially believe it. They may barely believe it, but there's some things they truly believe. And oftentimes when you see them in person, you can really tell what means the most to them. So I just encourage everybody to get out there, listen as much as you can, listen to as many stations as you can. Don't narrow it down to just one or two sources of media. Get out there as much as you can, get as informed as you can, and then make your decision based on your findings, not what your neighbor or a family member is telling you to do.
Because
Yeah. So.
Oh, absolutely. But it's very, very interesting to watch the process.
It is. So.
But yeah, but he was very. I like him. I like him.
Well, he's going to be, and Bloomberg's going to be on the debate tomorrow night. He made it in for whatever.
He paid it in. Made it in.
Well, I don't know. How could you pay your way into it? I mean, obviously you don't just write a check. They had to meet qualifications, had to meet criteria. How did he meet that criteria? Nobody thought he would.
Lies, polls, and statistics.
Really?
In that order.
Well, anyway, he'll be on that tomorrow. So, and the national polls has got Bernie first, and him. Somebody surprisingly in second place in a national poll. But anyway, well, more closer to home. What do we got? Did we talk about how sad it was that now we've lost Mayor Bob Cashel.
Yeah.
Did we
didn't
mention
talk
that at all?
about it, but yeah.
You know, he's such a nice guy. I remember years ago, I called him and asked him, could he please come out to Fallon and talk to the Rotary Club the year I was president. And, well, I don't know if it was the year I was president or the year before when I was the speaker coordinator guy. I was responsible for getting the speakers. But either way, he did, and he was on the radio station. We talked for about 45 minutes before we went to air. Then I had him on my radio show for about half hour, and he is, I mean, just living history for Nevada, especially, you know, Reno, northern Nevada. And it was just amazing. The off-air conversation we had, I learned a lot from him. And anyway, then he came and spoke to Rotary, and he was one of the most, him and Stephen Esquaga were the two people who were most remembered for their speeches in Fallon, right? Because I had everybody come out. I mean, remember Coach Fox was a basketball coach at UNR, Coach Fox, Coach Alt was football coach. I had two on-air morning personalities on the #1 talk station that, you know, the man and woman, Ross and Monica. Yeah, they came out. I mean, I knew who they were. I just didn't know if I should say their name.
Oh, please. We're not that
I had them come out. I just had all kinds of everybody, you know, come out and talk to Rotary. But of all of them, Bob Cashel, Mayor Cashel, and Stephen Esquaga were the two most memorable, because when they spoke, it wasn't about, look what I've done, me, or in the case of the business like the Nugget, oh, you know, come on out to the Nugget, we got good rates. It wasn't anything about that. It was how it was built and their history. And of course, Stephen, being the son of John Esquaga, watched his dad do many things, and then he learned the business and got into the business. And at that time, he was actively involved. Him and Michonne both, his sister, one of his two sisters. And so they talked about the creation, what their dad's philosophy was, the core values of the Nugget, how it was built, not just how it was built, but how they had sustained it over the years. My opinion, I will say this right now, the Nugget is not the same today as it was. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm just saying it's not the same. But anyway, Stephen came out, and so we had coffee just a little over a week ago. We got together at 8:30 in the morning, Stephen and I, and we had coffee, which we do.
To meet him.
But and I'll arrange that. We'll all have coffee sometime. The thing was, I told him, we were sitting across the table, second level of the pepper mill, because he's the business director over there. We were sitting there talking, and I told him,
on my show.
I said, we could probably arrange that.
That'd be great.
I told him, I said, you and Bob Cashel were the two most memorable. I went through the whole thing that I just got through saying, and he goes, Bob is some kind of something. He said, that dude is just invincible. He said, there's no stopping him. He told some stories about Bob in that even when he was down, he wasn't down. You know,
No,
he was
wasn't
just
out. He was never out.
Never out.
Just
So
like
some
his
real
son
we shared some personal stories, and as Stephen said, he said because 2 days later we were talking again, and he said because it's so odd, because we were just singing, we were talking praises about Bob, and it's so sad now that he's gone, because 4 hours after me and Stephen had coffee, Bob passed away. And I was like, Stephen, can you believe this? And he goes, I know. It literally was 4 hours after we talked about Bob, he passed away. And I'm like, oh my God, so we probably ought to stop talking about people. But we talked about his dad too, John, 90 plus years old, still gets up 6:30 every morning, works the ranch for as long as he physically can. They've got ranch hands that help.
Oh my
but
God,
anyway, it was just, Stephen is he is so much like his dad. You know, John Esquaga, 15 years after he would walk through the restaurant, greeting people, saying hi, and thanking them for being there, 15 years later, could walk through and say, Mr. and Mrs. So he remembered their names. And that's why and how they became, with the reputation that they are. And Stephen, from the day I called him and he came out, has just never forgot me. We've always stayed in touch. And So yeah, it was just so odd. We had not talked about Bob in more than 10 years. We sat there, and hours later, Bob was gone, and that was so sad. But nonetheless,
it's not. I mean, Bob is a wonderful. He's still here. His meat suit just stopped. I mean, he's right here. He's in joy. He's in. I mean.
Yeah.
You know, death is not the worst thing that can happen to a person.
No.
He
Sometimes it's absolutely the best.
Absolutely.
It really is. There's a time, and I think we all
He was in his 80s.
know when that. Yeah, he was 81.
81, my
81.
mom's age.
So
You know?
absolutely amazing.
He's a wonderful, wonderful man. Just like his son Pat. Pat will carry on his legacy in just exponential ways.
I think the thing when real quick before you break, I think the one thing that caused me and Mayor Cashel to click the way we did, and we had never met till the day he came to Fallon, but there was something about it. And then at the last minute, when I told him, or he told me that he was one of the original founders and builders or whatever of Bill and Effie's, which is now Boomtown. I said, we always stopped at Bill and Effie's for the 75-cent ham and eggs as a kid. And he told me the name of the waitress who had the goofy lipstick that me and my brothers always made fun of because of the way she did her lipstick. And he goes, oh, yeah, that was Billy. And I'm like, wait, what? And right then and there, who knew that 50 years prior, Bill and Effie's, and now I'm sitting with the guy who built it.
Well, it's like Jimmy Carter.
Well, one of the two-parters.
It's like Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got to go to another break. We'll be back for the second half of St. News Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Dee Gregory and Christian Meyer after these messages. Stay tuned.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd with America Matters with Eddie Floyd, and I want to tell you something. I normally never do personal endorsements. I'm going to today because, as a lot of you know, I've been suffering from a knee operation, and I went finally, at the advice of my doctor, to Reno Cryotherapy. I have never in my life been so excited, and the results are phenomenal. 6490 South McCarran Boulevard, Building D, Suite 29. The phone number 689-8888.
At A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, we've been accomplishing happy feet for over 30 years.
We offer a various range of shoe styles and sizes for both men and women. From all-season shoes and orthotics to work boots and safety shoes, our professional and reliable staff possesses the knowledge to help you find the proper shoes to fit your needs. Hard to fit? Hard to find?
A Proper Fit Footwear is here to give our customers happy feet. We make people aware of potential foot problems as we're sizing their feet, suggesting the right arch support, and guiding them to the proper shoes for their needs.
Stop by A Proper Fit Footwear at 4001 South Virginia Street in the Reno Town Mall today, and allow the owner Mike Jones and our fabulous staff to find the perfect pair of shoes tailored to your specific needs.
A Proper Fit Footwear in the Reno Town Mall, the home of happy feet, where comfort and your feet meet.
So here's the choice. Some people say the USA is finished. It's evil, a has-been, full of hate and injustice. The U.S. Constitution should be trashed and the Bill of Rights abolished. No free speech, no gun ownership. Competition and free markets are bad. We're all too stupid. For our own good, the government must own everything and know all your secrets.
Other people say that America has created the freest, richest, happiest, most generous society that has ever existed in the world. That's why millions of people are desperate to come here and escape their brutal lives in Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, and 100 other countries.
In America, we have the right to succeed, the right to our own living, the right to have a family, the right to believe in God, the right to have our own ideas, the right to be safe and secure, and the right to be left alone.
Where do you stand? Help us save the Constitution and restore the American dream. Go to SaveMyFreedom.com.
Brought to you by the American Media Council.
Assistance League Reno Sparks, an all-volunteer nonprofit organization, works to improve lives by providing supplemental food, grooming essentials, and bus passes for low-income and homebound seniors. The Senior Sampler, a gift shop located within the store, provides senior crafters with a free venue to sell handcrafted items to supplement their incomes. Check out both the gift shop and the thrift shop at 1701 Vassar Street in Reno. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the second half of today's Rush Hour. As I said at the top of the show, this is an interactive show, and we would love to have you join us. So give us a call, toll free from anywhere in the world, 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Or you can drop a line in the Facebook comments box on the video. And we're also on YouTube, too. I have a YouTube channel at it's Reno Rush Hour, Reno Rush Hour. And it's also on the America Matters Media channel. Reno Rush Hour has its own little thingy there. So you can check that out as well. And on the americamatters.us website, I have a page there as well that has all the podcasts of the shows. All the audio is archived there, so you can check it out there if you don't get a chance to catch it live. So Dee Gregory is with me, and we're just kind of shooting the bull, and Christian is back there behind the booth as well.
What's Christian want to talk about?
A nice cozy bed at this point.
Oh, I bet.
He's got a long several days.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, in time. You've only got about a half hour to go.
Oh, trust me, I'm counting the minutes.
You're off at 6, right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, you're packed up and ready to go. So yeah, and that you have cool stories.
I've been very, very fortunate in my life. While doing 23 years in the Navy, I was able to dual career several things, and I have been extremely fortunate. I've been able to do things that other people otherwise may not have had the opportunity to do, and at times I wouldn't doubt, but what people might even say, "Oh, well, there's just no way." Well, I understand that, because some of them are probably borderline unbelievable. Fortunate thing is, about 99% of what I've ever done, I truly have pictures and, letters and things like that to prove what I'm saying. But yeah, I've been extremely fortunate, and I love to tell the stories. I should write a book.
I think that's probably going to end up happening, considering
that would take too much time.
Well, I told you just record it. You just speak it and tell the stories.
But somebody's got to lay it out.
Of which,
is that what a ghostwriter is? If you do that, does a ghostwriter do most of the work? Then you got to pay him, though, right?
Well, that's all right. You pay him out of the proceeds.
I mean, was that right?
Tell the Jimmy Carter story. This is amazing.
Okay. Jimmy Carter. President Jimmy Carter. I went in the Navy at 17 years old in 1977, enlisted in 76, went active 77, and by 1978 I was aboard the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. And as anybody who served in the military knows, that when you get to your duty station, you must do what's either 60 to 90 day, what they call mess cook duty, or TDY. They take you from your command or your department or division, and they put you in the chow hall, basically. You cook, you clean, do dishes, whatever. You take your turn there, and then you go back to your shop. Somebody else comes in. So that's always manned with people. All right. So I'm doing that. I'm doing my 90 days. And during that time, President Jimmy Carter and the First Lady, along with President Sadat and Prime Minister Begin, Israel and all that, were coming aboard the Eisenhower, because we just commissioned it. It was a brand new, the largest and most powerful and newest nuclear-powered aircraft carrier in the United States Navy at that time. So I was fortunate enough to serve aboard that with my squadron, attack squadron VA-65 out of Oceana, Virginia. So I'm there doing my thing, and then all of a sudden, okay, the president and them are coming, and then come the day of, it just happened to be that I was the guy on one side of the ship, because when you eat, you go down both sides, port and starboard, and I was told, your job today is to make sure these milk machines stay full. And it was those big 5-gallon cardboard things like you find in any cafeteria, the old-fashioned way, that big metal, hard metal knob, you lift up the lever to get your milk. And there was
the big steel square box.
Yeah, and inside the square box, there was 3 levers. There was 2 regular milk and 1 chocolate. So it said milk, milk, and then chocolate, so you know. So anyway, we didn't know which side the president and first lady were coming down, but they were going to have lunch with, some of the men that were serving aboard. At that time, there were no women aboard ship. So anyway, we didn't know until then, but they said, if he comes down, don't you ever speak unless you're spoke to, and if you do, you better come to attention, blah, blah, blah. Did all that. So anyway, in a way, I really wanted to see the president, but in another way, I was hoping he wouldn't come down because I didn't want to mess up and get in any trouble.
Right.
And so, lo and behold, it happened. Him and the First Lady, the Secret Service, the admirals, the captains, the entire entourage was coming right down our side. And I could look down out of my peripheral vision and see they're coming. So the advance party, one of the commanders or somebody came down and said, all right, the president's coming on your side. Don't you dare do it. You just read all of us the riot act. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't speak. So I'm standing there at parade rest, and it's time. They are there now. They've got their food. They've stepped through the hatch. Now they're getting their drinks. And it comes time that he gets right up by the machine, and I am just internally, I am just shaking. I am just nervous as could be. Again, 17 years old, scared to death. The president of the United States is an arm's distance away from me. And he grabs his glass. He has his tray of food. He grabs his glass, and he backs up, and he looks at the machine, and he goes, how are you today, son, or something like that. So I popped to attention, and I said, fine, thank you, sir. And he, something about, how are you? And so anyway, I'm hoping to God that I don't have to answer any more questions. But in order to make conversation, he then said to me, and I know it was only to make conversation. He says to me, which one of these are chocolate? So apparently, President Carter liked chocolate milk. He goes, which one of these are chocolate? Now I'm at attention. The machine is on my left. He's standing here facing the machine. I, at attention, lean forward, look to the left, look the President of the United States dead in the eye, and said, the one that says chocolate.
Sir.
And he momentarily, his eyes stopped. We locked. And I could see behind him the admiral. There was a couple of 3 stars, a 1 star, the captain of the ship. They just went blood red, and you could see in their eyes that they were going to probably throw me overboard once the president came by. But in that same split second, the First Lady nudged him with her elbow, goes, he got you on that one, Jimmy, because the thing said chocolate right there in front of him. And I didn't know what to say other than the one that says chocolate.
Sir.
And so, yeah. And so I'm like, oh, so once the First Lady said what she said, he started laughing. He goes, you're right. You did. Ha, ha, ha. Everybody laughed. And then so just like any other lackeys or whatever, everybody starts laughing. Now it becomes the funniest thing that was ever said when seconds earlier my career was over, right? So they move on. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then the captain says, well, you got lucky on that one. Yes, sir, I did. So anyway, over and done, behind us, never to be spoke about again. I told the story to some people, but that was it. And that was in 1978. In 2008, I believe it was the year that his son was running for senator for the state of Nevada. The former president was stumping for him and came up to Fallon. I was at K-Hog Country Radio, and I was afforded an opportunity, as other media was, to have an interview with not only the candidate, but also the former president. I said, absolutely. Hadn't seen him in years. It'd be great to see him again. So I went over to VFW in Fallon, was waiting in line, and his son was coming down, greeting all of us, hoping he'd get the vote, for Senate or whatever. And when he got to me, I said, I actually met your mom and dad years ago. He said, where? I said, well, I was in the Navy, and I was out on the aircraft carrier, the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower. And I said, the day that I met him, I was mess cooking, and my whole job was to keep the milk machine full. He stopped right then. He says, wait a minute, are you the chocolate milk guy? And I was floored. I said, yes. How did you know? My mom and dad to this day still talk about that. He turned around with the former president doing a TV interview, recorded, not live, doing an interview. He goes, Dad, it's the chocolate milk guy. And me and the president made eye contact. He get that little Jimmy Carter smile. Finished the interview. When it was over, he said, I can't believe it. I said, no, sir, I can't either. He goes, that really was a pretty dumb question to ask. He goes, I deserve the answer. I said, no, sir, and I was like, I was still fumbling. He goes, no, seriously. He said, I never forgot it. And then it was just kind of over from there. But the more I thought about it, they went home and shared it with their kids. His son said they talk about it all the time. And then you mentioned something the other night when I was telling the story, that it had to have hit something with him for, at that time, 31 years, 30
Actually,
years
it was
later.
2006. His son ran in 06.
Okay, 6. So it was 29, 30 years later.
Yep.
29 years later, me and the president meet up again. But yet for that whole almost 3 decades, he and his family has told that story.
And I'm telling you, he's told that to dignitaries. He's told that in speeches. He's told that.
Who in the world would ever say that to the president?
The fact that at this point, 2006, has and now that they know who you are, still do.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just I was floored. Nothing shocked. If the president,
He's 72 now.
If the president had said it, it would have been one thing.
Sure.
But for his son to say it, I know it had an impact.
Yeah. For him to stop dead in the middle of what you were saying.
Yes.
Even
interrupted me. He knew what the finish line was. He knew what was said, and he knew the story.
Absolutely.
It was so great to see Jimmy Carter again.
That's stunning. Well, we've got to go to another break. We'll be back for the fourth and final segment of today's Rush Hour with Kelly Rush and Dee Gregory and Christian Meyer after these messages. Stay tuned.
Home at Last opens doors to family, to freedom, to finally making it yours. Home at Last, a program of the Nevada Rural Housing Authority, opens doors to rural home buyers with incomes of up to $135,000, providing down payment assistance of more than $22,000, plus access to our exclusive pet adoption program. From Gardnerville to Fernley to Carson City and even Sparks, rural happens here in every county in Nevada. Learn more at homeatlastnv.org.
Hi, this is Eddie Floyd. Let me tell you about my favorite non-profit public charity, Wainema Wild Horse Sanctuary, located on the Forsyth Ranch in Hallelujah Junction area. And please go to www.wainemaranch.com. That's WYNEMA ranch.com.
Ready for a live game of Clue? For nearly 30 years, Funtime Theater has held private and monthly dinner murder mysteries. Each night is different, and each event includes dinner and a show. You're the detective, and your job is to figure out who did what to who and why. At the end of the night, a super sleuth and not so super sleuth are awarded prizes. This is a great event for a birthday or holiday party and team-building events for your office. Visit funtimetheater.com to make your reservations and use promo code RADIO for $5 off each admission.
Rich is just a really, really good guy. The term good egg isn't enough to describe him. He's also certified organic and free range. Rich puts the cap back on everything. The toothpaste, the olive oil, the shampoo, everything. He lets his 10-year-old nephew beat him at virtual tennis, even though he can straight up slay his 10-year-old nephew in virtual tennis. When the toilet paper is running low, Rich replaces the roll on the actual holder, not just on the back of the toilet. Rich is texting and driving. Rich, no. What are you doing, Rich? I was just telling everyone how great you are. Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopRex.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Veterans Outreach is a program sponsored by Nonprofit Assistance League Reno Sparks, supports homeless veterans and their families. Working with the Homeless Veterans Project, the VA Hospital, homebound veterans, and women veterans, they provide warm coats, bus passes, housewares, bedding, baby items, and other essentials. These services are funded through sales at the Assistance League Thrift Shop, 1701 Vassar Street in Reno. Open 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday.
This is Oliver X. Join me and the superstar Janez Carter weekday mornings from 8 to 9 on the Reno Todd Tonight Show on America Matters Media.
Are you shy and don't want to talk on the air? Text us your questions or comments to 775-237-2266. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of this evening's Rush Hour. I am Kelly Rush, and I am with Dee Gregory, host of Mustang Matters, right here on America Matters Media, Mondays from 1 to 2 p.m., all about our wild Mustangs and American heritage. And so all kinds of stuff going on in the news. Harvey Weinstein. His trial is about over. It's been...
The jury went into deliberation today, did they not? We will see.
That'll be interesting.
The prosecution admits they don't have the strongest case in New York against him.
Oh.
But it doesn't matter whatever happens there. He still has charges in California. So they seem to think if they don't get him on one, they'll get him on another. Either way, I think it's... I think the writing is on the wall.
I would think so.
But yeah, well, so much in the news. But if you've seen a picture of him now, he's using a walker. I mean, he knows it's up. He knows it's up.
He's such a pig. I mean, he's
whether it's a legit or not. Fact is, he knows it's up.
Totally.
And no matter what happens, like they said, even with his age, even if he got the minimum of 20 years on one charge, it's a life sentence for him.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Frankly, I think that if he does get charged, I don't know that he'll ever see the inside of it. I think he's just cowardly enough that he will end things prior to that.
I would think
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, he's
he's not used to being corralled.
Oh no.
Keep in mind, Bill Cosby's serving out his life sentence.
Where's he? There was so much
Yeah.
that happened with that. I honestly don't remember the end result. I don't recall hearing it. What was he sentenced to, and where is he serving?
Life in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in Philly, and I mean he's just.
So he got a life sentence, or he got so many years that they know he's going to die there.
Both.
Well, I mean, which was it?
Well,
because there was
he
like
got
20.
a life sentence.
Wasn't there like 20 people against him? I mean, 20
no, this
cases?
was one. There were multiple accusers, but this was one specific case.
This was the only one that didn't fall within the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Or fell within the
That did
statute.
fall
Yeah,
within it.
yeah.
Some of the other ones had run out and they couldn't have done anything,
Exactly.
even if he admitted.
Correct.
Okay. So he's serving on this one in a Pennsylvania jail?
Yep.
Really?
And he's, as far as I understand, blind as a bat at this point.
Yeah, probably. He was really bad even before it, so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he was faking it.
You think he was faking it?
I do.
The blindness? Because I thought that was a part of it. I thought that was public knowledge prior to even these charges coming up. I thought he was.
I think he was legally blind. I think his vision was bad.
Yeah.
But he's not blind. He can see. Legally blind is just.
Well, either way, he'll get a little special attention because they still have to help him in his needs. I mean, he's going to have probably that's so he can have an assistant while he's in jail, somebody to help him see around and get around. Who knows? Purely speculation. All right. So with 7 minutes left, what else is there to talk about? Pick a topic.
Pick a topic. Any topic.
Pick a topic.
I guess old Tesla's stock went nuts again today. It was up to
spiraling down or
no
up?
up
Really?
858 or something.
Oh, wow.
But their 10K report came out, and that'll be interesting to read. I'll check that out tonight. So that should be fun. I love reading that stuff because that's where all the actual facts come out.
Yeah.
Not what Elon actually says in the earnings call.
Or tries to say,
a couple
too.
Weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then Trump went on a big ol' pardon party today.
That he did.
That
Well,
was
one or two. There's a difference in a pardon and a what he did. What he did for
Blagojevich
was not a pardon.
That was a commutation.
He commuted it. Therefore, he's still guilty. He's got the record. He did 8 or 9 of his 16 years. He just doesn't have to finish it out. So he didn't pardon him. He's still going to have that felony or the record for the rest of his life.
Well, yeah, big whoop.
Well, I'm just saying that, for whatever the reason, I mean, there's been people that have been blatantly pardoned, pardoned and expunged and wiped out that we know should never have happened. And I mean, this guy did serve 8 or 9 of his years. I remember that incident, that he was they caught him on tape trying to make money off of then State Senator Obama's seat that he was going to appoint somebody to fill when Obama decided to run for president. I remember when all that went down. And he was wrong. He was guilty. But honestly, did it require 16 years? Does it gonna take? Oh, I thought it was 16. Okay. But 14 years for somebody trying to get, it's not like he got it and spent it and did all that.
He was a public officer.
You're right. And he was wrong. But did it warrant 14 years?
Yes. Those are the people you make the absolute highest examples of.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So the guy who gets 20 to life and paroled after 8 or 9 years for murder.
Okay, well then put him up for parole.
Who's the bigger threat?
Put him up for parole.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Give him a parole hearing.
Who knows, at the time he may not have had a parole clause. He may have had to do the 14 years no matter what. And I don't know.
Well, then change the law. But
perhaps. Even if a law changes while somebody is serving, and if it not backdated and applies to them, they still got to do the thing. That's why we got people doing 35 years for an ounce of marijuana.
Well, and those are getting, as the laws change, they are getting released.
They are backing up and trying to do that. But there are still people, still today, serving time for less marijuana than is legal today. And yes, I appreciate the fact they are trying to correct that. But look at all the money and the time. Look at the loss. I mean, the money that's put into feeding them and housing them every day. But at the same time, now they're going to be integrated back into society, which is going to take more training, more money. And I mean, they just lost so much of their lives on something that was overreacted upon years ago.
Believe me, I'm with you. I'm with you. But,
But we're no longer going to be paying for Blagojevich's, his 3 meals a day and this medical. We're not going to have to pay for that anymore. Taxpayers are no longer going to have to pay for it.
It's okay.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. Still, he was a dirty MF. This was just one he got caught on. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
I don't know for sure, but I'm reasonably sure that was not his first time. But think about, this is the craziest thing. Remember the D.C. mayor?
Mm-hmm.
The mayor, and then he got busted in the middle of a crack deal or cocaine deal, and then came back and got elected again. I mean, remember that? What? Now, I wasn't a registered voter there, so it wasn't me. But what is in the minds of the people who do that? And then, not you. I'm just saying in general, they do that. But then the same people or people want to complain because a guy who already served 8 years is being released. Yet you got somebody doing that, getting away with that, and then you help get him back into a position to not only do it again, but be in charge of money and the infrastructure.
Well, granted, these aren't the same people. I mean, that's D.C., this is Chicago.
It's still America. It's still America. And we know there's more politicians doing crap like that in D.C.
That's why you have regions and different they're different people in different areas. People don't think alike. People don't, it's different.
But there is no
Northwest, Northeast, Midwest, South. Mid-South, North, Southwest.
And each case is its own
People
case.
think differently.
Each case is its own case. I truly understand that. Say ounce of marijuana, a 70-year-old guy, a 16 or an 18-year-old kid, East Coast, West Coast. Although many things are identical, there's so much that is different. Each should be handled on a case-by-case basis. But when you look at things that have so much in common in the same country, and the punishments are so far apart, how can we justify that?
You can't. The law is an ass.
Hey, wait. Can we say ass in that? Oh, crap. I was hoping for a fine. Yeah.
Mark Twain said, I mean, we need massive reform.
Well, they claim they're doing it. I don't know.
It's
I'm glad to see they're releasing many people who they feel have already done their time. And now, as society, they say, look, this done their time, and they are starting prison reform. Right? Am I right?
Well, and the problem is,
do you agree with the prison reform?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Would you not agree, in passing, I'm going to back out, I'm going to turn my mic off, Blagojevich might have been part of prison reform?
Oh, fine with me. That's fine with me. I don't have a problem with what Trump did, and I don't have a problem.
I just wanted to throw that out.
14 years was absolutely excessive. No question about it. But society isn't who makes the laws. Society isn't who decides the sentences. It's lawyers.
The 12 people on the jury.
We're not the ones who write what the sentencing guidelines are.
Not the guidelines. But you say
who can choose.
You get this, you get death, you get this, you get 20 to life, and they convict at different levels.
But those initial options in the first place are not decided by society.
Right. You're absolutely right.
And neither are those laws. That's all written by lawyers.
I know. I know. It's horrible. That's another whole show. Let's do that. I'd love to just rip some of these people wide open for some of this stuff.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you for letting me be here.
We'll do that show another time.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here with me. And I hope everyone has a wonderful evening. We will be back tomorrow with Deborah Hull from the Reno Artists Theater. And we're going to be talking about their new show. Tune in tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Have a great night, everybody.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer